Namaskar. Today in this video we discuss about physical properties of metals and non-metals. Any substance, we can feel the presence of that substance with the help of our senses. Maybe the one sense is involved there, or maybe the more than one sense is involved there. So the physical properties on the behalf of we distinguish a metal and non-metal. Let's discuss those one by one. The first physical property is metallic luster. Metallic luster means the term luster refers to the general appearance that we can felt with our eyes, general appearance of a mineral surface in reflected light. The metallic and non-metallic luster are distinguished easily by the human eye after some practice. After some time, when we make a good practice, we can easily identify that this substance is metal and this substance is non-metal on the behalf of metallic luster. Now we do some activity, and most of these activities in this topic we are going to perform are completely based at our home practice. We can do these practices at our home. Yes, so we can say these are also known as the practicals at home. For the example, you take the sample of iron, copper, aluminium or magnesium or any other metal or any one metal and note the appearance of these samples. After noting down the appearance of these samples, with the help of a sandpaper, you clean the surface of these metals. Before and after cleaning, note down the appearance and note down your observations. You got some fantastic results. Let's perform that activity.
Take a sample of iron. Note the appearance of iron. Clean the surface of iron by rubbing it from sandpaper. Now note this appearance. It appears shiny before rubbing by sandpaper and after rubbing by sandpaper.
Metals in their pure state, those are highly reactive. Due to the high reactivity in the pure state, metals easily react with the atmospheric gases and water vapors. Due to the reaction with atmospheric gases and water vapors, a protective or a oxide layer is deposited on metal surface. That makes metal dull in appearance. After rubbing the sandpaper, that oxide layer is removed and metal is again start to shine like a new metal. So metals in their pure state have a shining surface. This property is called metallic luster. This property is known as the metallic luster. The metallic luster of a metal is due to the oscillation of loosely bonded electrons. electrons are responsible for the metallic lustre. And which electrons? Those are most loosely bonded. And which electrons are the most loosely bonded? The electrons those are present in the outermost shell is the most loosely bonded electrons. So in a simple words, we can say the good conductor of metals are also appears in shining state, or the good conductor of electricity is shine more in presence of the light. When light falls upon the electrons, they absorb energy and are set into oscillation. A oscillation is a start. Oscillation means electrons start to move from one orbit to another orbit. They emit radiations which are responsible for the metallic lustre. So this one is the reason for the metallic lustre of metals. Now the next property is the hardness. Hardness is the resistance of metals to indentation. Hardness depends on the strength and plasticity of substance. The property is expressed quantitatively by number. That number is known as the hardness number. That hardness number is known as the Mohr number. That is also known as the Mohr number. Hardness number of metal is the Mohr number of the metal. Take some small pieces. Let's perform an activity. Take some small pieces of iron, copper, aluminium or magnesium. Try to cut these metals with the help of a sharp knife and observe and note down your observations. Can you cut a iron piece, a iron pipe with the help of a knife? No, that is not possible. But aluminium is maybe cut easily compared to the iron with the help of any one iron substance, but not with the help of a knife. That is not possible with the knife. But the soft metals, we can easily cut those soft metals with the help of knife. Which are those soft metals? Like your lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium. These are soft metals. So let's perform an activity. This activity, we cannot do this activity at our home. This activity we can perform only in chemistry lab in presence of your science teacher only. So don't try in your chemistry lab to do this activity in absence of a teacher. So in this activity, what we do, hold a piece of sodium metal with a pair of tongs, put it on a watch glass and try to cut it with a knife or a spatula. What do you observe? Not your observation in your notebook. You got some fantastic results in this also.
Let's perform an activity that metals are lustrous in nature. The most fascinating metal for a science student is the sodium metal. Every science student dreams that he or she can interact with sodium metal. Sodium metal comes in like this bottle. A sodium metal that is a very active metal. Due to the highly reactivity of sodium metal is always stored in kerosene oil. Now we open it. Look, a sodium metal is dipped in kerosene oil due to the high reactivity of sodium metal. Now we take out a piece of sodium metal with the help of our spatula and we dry it on our filter paper. This is a cubical structure. Like a cube, we have a sodium metal. Now I make it dry with help of a filter paper because it is sinked in kerosene oil. Whenever you are going with sodium metal, you handle that sodium metal very cautiously. Your hand must be dried. If any water drop is present on your fingers, that react with sodium metal. Now have a look this sodium metal. This is the sodium metal. Now I am going to cut it with help of a knife or with the help of my spatula. I place it in the watch glass. So with the help of a spatula, I am going to cut it. Sodium metal is very soft. It is not like hard your iron or copper. It is cut with this spatula that have no sharp edges. Now look the newly cut surface of sodium metal. Look, there is a shining newly cut surface metal are more shined. Why? Because metal surface react with the so many other elements those are present in air. A oxide layer is formed, due to that lustrous is down. When we cut it, it is turns in a lustrous form. A newly cut surface is a lustrous form. Now you can easily find out that this one is the newly cut surface sodium metal and this one is the surface metal of alder. Thank you.
In these activities, we observe that metals are generally hard, except some metals like your lithium, sodium, potassium like this. The hardness vary from metal to metal. The hardness of iron and the hardness of sodium, those are quite different. There is a large difference between the hardness. As I told you earlier, the measurement of the hardness of metals is done in the hardness scale. That hardness scale is known as the Mohs hardness scale. These are the some hardness value for the different type of the substances that are written. Which one is the softest substances? Talc. And this one is hardest substances? Diamond. In this example, hardness of some metals is also written here. Now look here, the sodium hardness number is a 0.4. There was 0.4. And look the hardness of the steel utensils, the steel machinery that we are using. So now let's talk about the next property of metal, malleability. Malleability is a physical property of metals. It is the ability of a solid to blend or be hammered into other shapes without breaking. Without breaking a metal piece, we change the shape of that metal piece. That ability is known as malleability. Malleable materials can be flattened into metal leaf. The one of the best example of metal leaf is gold leaf. That is known as a gold leaf. Gold leaf is the thinnest sheet of gold. Take a piece of iron, zinc, lead or copper or any other metal that is available at your home. Place any one metal on a block of iron and strike it 4 or 5 times with a hammer and note down your observations. What you observe there. Record the change in the shape of these metals. These metals are converted into the sheets, or these metals are broken into the pieces. These are your observations. You should record that.
This activity is based on to test that metals are malleable, that is they can be hammered into sheets. Take a piece of iron, place it on a surface and strike it 4 or 5 times from a hammer. can observe a slight change in its shape. So from this activity we can conclude that metals are malleable.
In this activity, you observe that with the hammer that iron piece is converted in sheet shape. So we will find that some metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property is called malleability. Gold and silver are the most malleable metal in this universe. Zinc is malleable at the room temperature, not at the room temperature. Zinc is malleable above 100 to 200 degrees Celsius temperature. But at the room temperature, zinc is brittle in nature. If at the room temperature, we start to beat zinc with the help of a hammer, that is converted into the small pieces. So malleability is also depends on temperature. Now look for the next property, that is the ductility. Ductility means the ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. Consider some metals such as iron, copper, aluminium, lead, etc. Which of the above metals are also available in the form of the wire? We know in our house we have the copper wiring. We also have the wires of the iron. We use the wires of the iron in fencing. Aluminum wires are current is passing through the aluminum wires. When high voltage current to the low voltage current from pole to our home meter, the current we use the wire of aluminum. Lead wires are not available. So there is no in the lead, the ductility property is there, negligible or very less property. Gold is the most ductile metal. Gold is the most ductile metal. You will be surprised to know that if we have only the 1 gram gold, with the help of the 1 gram gold, we can make a 1 gram gold a 2 kilometer length wire. 1 gram gold can be converted into the 2 kilometer length wire. That is the superior ductility property in gold. It is because of their malleability and ductility, the metals can be given different shapes according to our needs. The difference between the ductility and malleability, what is the difference? It seems that both the properties are same. Then why we have the different names? No, both the properties are different. They have some small similarities between them. Ductility and malleability may be seen similar on the surface. Metals that are ductile are not necessarily malleable, or metals those are malleable are not necessarily ductile. Lead is highly malleable. Lead is highly malleable but not highly ductile due to its crystal structure. So that means the ductility is also depends on the crystal structure. If crystal structure doesn't allow stress between the particles, the ductility value is less. If a structure crystal is allowed a stress between the particles, those are more ductile. Malleability in the metals is useful to give specific shapes. For example, the bodies of the car, truck need to be formed into the specific shapes, as do cooking utensils, can for the packaged food and beverages, construction materials and more. So ductility and malleability both are useful for a best human life, for a better human life. Next property is metals are good conductor of heat and having the high melting point. We set up an experiment. This experiment is possible in our lab, but we can also perform by another way at our home. We set up this experiment What we do in the experiment? In this one, we take a metal rod. In that metal rod, with the help of wax, we fix a iron pin is there, and we start to heat this metal rod with the help of a burner or a candle. What we observe after some time? After some time, the heat is flow from this side to this side. Due to the flow of the heat from this side to this side, and your wax is start to melt down. By melting of the wax, this pin is loosed from here and dropped. This experiment show that metals are good conductor of heat. So now let's we perform this activity with another way at our home. How can we perform it? Now look it.
This activity is based on to check whether metals are good conductor of heat and possess high melting point or not. Take a knife, add to the free end of the knife, fix a pin with the help of wax. Like this. We have fixed the pin at the free end of the knife. Now heat the knife with the help of gas. It will observe that the wax started melting. And iron nail fall down. It shows that metal pass heat from it.
The above activity show that metals are good conductor of heat and they have high melting point. How can we conclude they have the high melting point? By heating that metal rod, we observe that metal rod doesn't melt down, but wax is easily melted down. By the high heat, if we supply the high amount of the heat, metal rod is not to melt down. That is possible only on extreme supply of the heat. So metals have the high melting point. Metals are the best conductor of electricity as well as your heat. Silver and copper is the best conductor for heat. Lead and mercury are comparatively poor conductor of heat. Lead and mercury, these are the poor conductor of heat. Next activity is metals are good conductor of electricity. We set up an experiment with the help of battery, bulb, a switch and two clips at our home. And we start to perform this experiment. The metal whose conductivity we like to check, we place that metal between these two clips. If this bulb is start to glow, that indicate that metal or that substance is good conductor of electricity. If that bulb is not start to glow, we can conclude that the given material is the bad conductor of electricity or poor conductor of electricity. Let's perform an activity, a home-based activity to conclude our statements.
In this activity, we have to check whether metal is good conductor of electricity or no. We have to connect wires. The bulb is glowing. Now we have to take a metal pin and connect with them wires. Now bulb is glowing, so that we can conclude that metals are good conductor of electricity.
Now the next property of metals. Sonorous property of metals. Metals are sonorous. On being struck hard, the metal produced a ringing sound. Due to this property, metals are known as sonorous. For example, the school bell produces a loud ringing sound when struck with the hammered hard. Some examples are there. Those are the good sonorous metals: iron, gold, copper, aluminium, magnesium, like this. Silver and copper are the most sonorous metal as they make a loud ringing sound when struck.
This activity is based on to check whether the metal are sonorous or not. The material required is a steel spoon and a steel bowl. From the spoon we have to strike the bowl. A sound is produced, it means metals are sonorous.
Let's conclude for this topic. Metals are solids. All the metals are solid in nature except mercury. Mercury is found in liquid state. Metals are hard. All the metals are hard except the lithium, potassium, sodium. We can easily cut those with the help of a knife. These metals are soft in nature. Metals have metallic luster, the shining property of metals. Metals are malleable. We can convert metals into thin sheet. The best example is the gold leaf. Metals are ductile. We can convert metal piece into wires. Metals have high melting point. The gallium and the cesium melting point is not too high. When we have a piece of gallium or cesium in our palm, that start to melt down. Metals have high boiling point also. They have the very high melting point. The same way they have very high boiling points. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Metals are sonorous, produce sound when beaten. So these are the some physical properties of metals. On the other hand, some physical properties of non-metals. We can distinguish metal and non-metal by these properties. Non-metals may be solid, liquid or gas. Non-metals are soft except diamond. Diamond is a form of carbon and carbon is non-metallic in nature. Diamond is the hardest substance. Non-metals do not have metallic luster or luster simply, but exception is the iodine. Iodine crystals have shining like your metals. Non-metals are not malleable, not ductile. When we hammer non-metals, those are converted in small pieces. Non-metals which are solids and liquids have low melting points. Non-metals which are solid and liquid have low boiling points also. Non-metals are poor conductor of heat and electricity, except the graphite. Graphite is the good conductor of electricity. The graphite rods we use in cell to pass electric current. Non-metals are not sonorous. They does not produce any sound when beaten. So thank you for listening us. By these observations and by these experiments that we can perform at our home, we can easily distinguish the substance in two categories, metallic and non-metallic properties. Thank you.